Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, where there's more to talk about than shooting. There's reloading and hunting and self-defense, too.
All right, welcome. Tom Gresham here. It's Gun Talk. We're going to be talking, well, about guns and shooting and scopes and ammo and everything else. Pretty much anything's on the table, as long as we're talking about doing it safely and responsibly. After all, we are the good guys and gals, the ones that don't get a lot of attention in the media. 866-TALK-GUN is the number, or just Tom Talk Gun. Tim is driving through Wyoming right now. Casper, Wyoming, antelope country out there on line 1. Hey, Tim, what you got there? Oh, no, he's in a dead spot. Tell you what, put him back on hold. When he gets to a good place, tell him to pull over, because I want to talk to him about this thing. It's pretty interesting. Let's jump up to line 2. Brett's with us out of Reno, Nevada. Hey, Brett, thanks for your patience. Appreciate you being there. What's up?
Hey, you said you take tips as well. Can I throw out a tip real quick for that?
You bet.
Your first caller?
Yeah.
So I have his same build. I'm like a beanpole. I had a lot of luck with the Tier 1 concealment holsters. They're full Kydex. I won't go into all the details on it. But I can conceal that really well. Had a lot of good luck with them. And they're a little pricey, but it's worth looking into.
All right, question for you. How many holsters did you try before you figured out what worked for you?
Honestly, that was the first holster.
Wow, that's great, because that's unusual. Usually you have to try a few of them to figure it out. And it's called the Tier 1. Is that the brand? Yeah.
Tier 1 Concealment is the brand.
Okay.
I bought mine for about $136, I think. But
that is pricey.
I've had a lot of luck. Go ahead.
So that is a little bit pricey, but you also don't have a box full of holsters like the rest of us.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, I did have a question for you.
Sure.
You've heard the adage, fear the man with one gun because he knows how to use it type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a utilitarian. Just got married, just had our first daughter, first kid, and what do you think about that?
I think it's nonsense.
I inherited a bunch of guns from my mom who just passed.
It's not. Look, it's nonsense. The best shooters I know are the ones that own 100 guns or more. I understand the line, it's cute, it's clever, and all of that, but it makes no sense at all. You can be a really good shot with one gun. You can also be a really good shot with 100 guns. The number of guns you own doesn't matter. And what you learn with one transfers to the other. So what do you have now, and what are you thinking?
Now I have a MMP 40C, and I just picked up a PPQ M2.
Nice. Okay, that's 2 really nice guns. There's no reason you can't go back and forth and be just as good a shot with each of them, and maybe even be better because you're going back and forth. After a while, you get, honestly, I probably have shot thousands of different types of guns, literally thousands. You get to the point where you can pick up any gun and you can shoot it well because the basics are the basics, and you just quit worrying about it. You just shoot the gun, manage the trigger, do what you got to do. I think the more guns you shoot, the better you get, frankly.
Okay, so it's kind of like driving a car. Once you know how to drive one car, stick shift, automatic, you drive
pretty much. And the other thing is this: from a real world situation, are you thinking self-defense with guns, or maybe carrying a gun?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no rule that says you're going to end up fighting with your gun. Think about that. When stuff happens, you may end up, picking up a gun somewhere. It's a really good thing to know how to run a lot of different kinds of guns. Does it have a safety? Where is the safety? How does it work? How does this one work? Can I run that one? Can I do a malfunction drill? Can I do a tap rack and get the gun back? Because what happens is sometimes the bad guys, their guns will jam, they drop them and run. You run over, smack the bottom of the magazine, rack the slide one time, you got a gun that's working now. Even if you were in a place that was a no-gun area and you left your gun behind, now you have a gun.
Okay. I didn't think of that.
That's what I'm saying. INTOT. I never thought of that. I get that all the time. That's what I'm here for. Hey, I appreciate the call, sir. You take care. Guys, did we end up with, no, I guess we did. We didn't get Tim back. I'm sorry. I think he's driving through some hills in Wyoming. We can't get him. Let's talk to Frank on line 4 out of Oklahoma. Frank, thanks for your patience. What are you buying?
I got from a dealer, even. I ordered a Ruger Precision 6.5 Creedmoor. It's on its way.
That's pretty darn nice. That's a shooter.
I talked to you about the difference here 6-8 months ago about the 6mm and 6.5, and the fact that I had 6.5 Norma bench rest. Mm-hmm. So I did finally break down and get the 6.5 Creedmoor. I
think you're going to love it. And that Ruger Precision rifle is scary how good it shoots. That is such a good shooting rifle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And cool. I'm looking forward to it. And then I've got a 5.5 AR 5.56 Ruger coming. I bought at auction new in the box.
Nice. Okay. Let me ask you, on the Ruger Precision rifle, what's your plan on that? Are you doing long-range competition, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I've got shoot bench rest, and I wanted to go to the multiple shot, PR or whatever.
Yeah, PRS.
And they have a shoot 40 miles from my house. I found out last year, the day of the shoot, I was 160 miles from it. And it's only 4 miles from my house. You can shoot from a helicopter.
Well, you're going to love that rifle. It is great. The other thing about the Ruger Precision rifle, the RPR, is people like to tinker with them. It's kind of like AR-15s. We're always changing things out, and they do the same things with the RPR. So get involved with the shooting community who have the RPRs, and you're going to find out, oh, yeah, we're going to do this to it, we're going to do that to it, we're going to put this on it. You'll have a ball. But the 6.5 Creedmoor is a pretty special caliber. I know that people say it's just another rifle caliber. Yeah, I know it is, but it's pretty special at the same time. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's see here. Let me do this. I apologize, but I got to keep running. We've got them lined up right now. Mark is on line 1 out of Park City, Montana. Hey, Mark, you're on Gun Talk. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. I'd like to know what your opinion is on the steel-cased ammo. I read stuff on the internet about the varnish vaporizing when you shoot it and coated in tight chambers. Mm-hmm. So what's your experience, or what have you heard about that?
It depends. Hornady has some steel case ammo, which works fine, but it also does not have, it's not coated with that varnish. You get the cheap Russian junk, and it's awful, and I would stay away from it.
Okay. And then the other, two more questions. I tried to get in 2 weeks ago when you had the Ruger guy on, but it's SHOT Show. Could you please ask them to make the Ruger Precision Rimfire in 22 Winchester Super Mag?
I'll throw that out. Well, all you can do is ask.
They've already got the magazines for their Model 77, so they have that part. Okay. And then the last question I have is, I've got a 365 SIG, and I'm getting a little bit of primer drag, maybe a 16th to 8th of an inch. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's enough to cause me problems in the future? I think you ought to contact them. They're taking care of that. That's a known deal, so contact SIG and get in line and get that thing serviced, okay? All right? I appreciate that, sir. Let's see. Oh, I'm up against my break here. 866-TALK-GUN. We will be back in just a minute.
Built for personal and home protection, the Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ pistol features an easy-to-load magazine with load assist button, an easy-to-rack slide, and the M2.0 crisp trigger and enhanced grip texture. With its easy-to-rack, easy-to-pack, and easy-to-shoot design, the M&P 380 Shield EZ is perfectly sized 380 protection. Find out more at smith-wesson.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of one football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Brownells has gone retro. Check out Brownells' new line of retro AR-15 and AR-style 308 rifles at brownells.com/retro. Whether you're looking for Eugene Stoner's original 308 design, the famous M16A1, Air Force 601, or the XM177 carbine, Brownells has the classic, new production, old-school rifle of your dreams. Own the firearm you used in basic training, carried in service, or that Grandpa always talks about. See more at brownells.com/retro.
All right, just a minute. I'm going to start on this list of the top 10 reasons you should own an AR-15. It's a great story here. But first, we got Tim rounded up. He's in Casper, Wyoming, somewhere around there. Hey, Tim, how you doing, sir?
Well, good. I pulled over and I found a hilltop where I got coverage.
Good deal. All right, so tell me your story.
All right, I've got two 270s.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's custom built, Douglas barrel, chimney triggers, FN Mauser action, loophole, 3-9 variable. Other one is a 77 Ruger, same kind of scope, about a couple hundred rounds of federal premium ammo, run one box through one gun, one box through the other.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them shoot exceptional. 100 yards, 3-shot groups around .280. Believe it or not.
Okay.
I went to start reloading, and I have gone through 5 different bullet manufacturers and about 7 or 8 different powders and primers, and I'm not getting anything within my best groups are running still half minute, but they're not anything like right out of the box Federals. Is there a way to know what kind of powder they run in their loads?
Well, not only is there not a way, it doesn't matter because they change powders. They've changed powder. I mean, they get in carloads of powders, and what the powder they use this year is not the same as the powder they used last year, even if it's supposed to be. There's a different burn rate in these big bulk powders. They're not canister powders like you and I get. The canister powders, the key thing about them is they have to have the same burn rate. The can of 4831 you buy today should be the same as 5 years ago and 10 years ago. For them, it doesn't have to be. They just adjust. They've got a ballistics lab, and they just adjust. It's not, all that's to say, it's not the powder. That's not what's going on here. There's something else going on. And I don't know. Let me back up. Are you an experienced hand loader?
For about 30 years.
Okay. Have you done accuracy hand loading? I mean, are you able to develop accurate loads for other rifles?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know, but I'm going to make a suggestion. The one thing that I have found that can really make a difference, adjusting powder and all of that can, but bullet seating depth can really make a difference by altering that. You're doing it by little increments. If you've ever done much tinkering with bullet seating depth, it can make a real difference. And if you find the right one with the right bullet, all of a sudden your rifle sings.
Right. Actually, I used a Federal loaded round and duplicated the seating depth to the lands right off of that one. That was my first priority.
And using the same bullet?
I believe that they're the same bullet. Hornady.
Well, it could be. I don't know. You just honestly, it's keep tinkering, but and I know this is going to be weird to say this, but the fact that you've got a factory load that's shooting that well, I don't think I would ever hand load. Honestly, if I had a factory load that's shooting at 0.3 of an inch in a 270 Winchester, holy smoke! I'm just going to take that and run like a bandit, man.
Well, I know, but being 30-year hand loader.
I know it's frustrating. You're thinking, I know I can do better than that. Hand loading's always supposed to be better than factory loads. And that was certainly true 30 years ago. It's not really true anymore. Factory loads are so scary good. A lot of times we can't beat them, and a lot of times we can't even get to it. And that's kind of where we are. I wish you luck, Tim. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I hope it works out. Let me drop down to line 2. John's with us out of Boone, Iowa. Hey, John, what do you have there?
Hi, Tom. I've got a MVP rifle, 223, and I about a year ago purchased a suppressor. Brand was Coastal. It's all a one-piece deal. And I've listened to you before, and I understand your point of impact is going to change. At 50 yards, I'm shooting, and it's dropping by 5 inches.
So you're shooting 5 inches lower at 50 yards with the suppressor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm wondering, should I get, like a heavier bullet or heavier grain bullet, or I'm shooting 50 grain right now.
How's the group at 50 with the suppressors? Is it shooting accurately?
Yeah, the group is pretty much right there in the same. I'd say it was like maybe an inch or so.
Okay.
Yes, that I can remember.
All right, I'm going to two or three things real quickly here. One is what happens is when you put the suppressor on, you put a big old weight out on the end of the barrel. It changes the harmonics, the vibration of the barrel, and that's why it's shooting to a different point of impact. That's very, very common. So that's just a given. Now, when you change to a different bullet weight, you're going to change the harmonics again. It might shoot to a different point of impact. Whatever it is, though, I mean, if it's a case of, I guess here's the question. Are you going to leave the suppressor on all the time, or are you going to be going back and forth?
Well, I had planned on leaving it on all the time, but if I'm going to be way off like that, because I had planned on using it for prairie dog hunting and coyote hunting.
Well, well, think about this. All you have to do is adjust the sights. What's the big deal?
Okay. Well, I was just thinking that it shouldn't be dropping, quite that much in such a short.
It's a lot, but it's not unheard of. All that is that's 10 inches at 100 yards, and I've seen that before. Whether you're talking about putting on the muzzle brake or a suppressor, usually 3 to 5 inches is not uncommon. 10 is a lot, but that wouldn't bother me. I would just adjust the sights if it's shooting nice tight groups. I would just adjust my crosshairs on my scope and not worry about it, And then, and definitely, once you stick with whatever bullet weight you're going to be using. But if you want to try different weight bullets and see if it's used to a different place. But honestly, I don't think you really have a problem. You just have a situation that it can be adjusted in about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Very good. That's exactly what I was wondering. I was thinking, it would be like maybe 2 or 3 inches, at 100 yards. But if it's something that not unheard of, then I guess I'm not going to be overly concerned about it then.
I wouldn't worry about it. As long as it's shooting decent groups, just adjust your sights and then leave the suppressor on. I wish you luck with it. All right, let me just talk about this. This is a cool article. This was in the Federalist, written by Mark Overstreet. Top 10 reasons you should own an AR-15. Love it. Number 1, being armed is your right and may be your civic duty. Okay, I'll go with that one, absolutely. Number 2, the AR-15 is the most useful firearm with which to defend against every species of criminal usurpation, because first and foremost, it is a rifle. The point being that rifles are much better for defensive use than our handguns. In fact, handguns are kind of rotten. They just don't work very well for self-defense. We use them because we can carry them and not frighten the masses. Given a choice, you always go with a rifle, always. For self-defense at home, absolutely, use a rifle. AR-15 is a great tool for that. Going back to our previous caller, if you have an AR-15 with a suppressor, even better, okay? All right, so we're talking about the list of the top 10 reasons you should own an AR-15. The AR-15, this is number 3, is a semi-automatic rifle. He starts off, having failed to get handguns banned in the 1970s, disarmament activists, Democrat politicians, and their supporters in the news began vilifying semi-automatic rifles, a category of firearms introduced in the late 19th century. I would offer that actually one of the benefits is driving people crazy because you have an AR-15. That's just a bonus. Okay, that's actually not one of them. Number 4, the AR-15 is one of the most validated rifles in history. Interesting. Said over the last 55 years, the AR-15 has been improved more often and in more ways than the M16 and M4, and today it is the most versatile semi-automatic rifle in history. It is more accurate and properly maintained, more reliable than the supposedly ultra-reliable AK-47 and the legendary M1 Garand. Fascinating. The AR-15, this is number 5, is the most modular rifle in history. We certainly know that. For those old enough to know what an erector set is, this is basically that. It's a collection of parts. You can pull it apart, swap out all the parts, put different grips, stocks, forearms, sights, everything else. You can change everything out on it. Triggers. Put a good trigger in an AR-15 is one of the first things you want to do. Number 6, in most cases, you can fix your AR-15 yourself. That goes back to the modular aspect of it. You can take it apart. You can swap out the parts. It's easy. Anybody can do it. You can find out how to do it online at YouTube. Number 7, the AR-15 is the rifle most commonly used for defensive firearm training. If you go take a class on defensive firearms with rifles, most people are going to be using AR-15s. It's a great tool for that. If you do that, by the way, get one that's lightweight. Don't get one that's all dolled up and heavy. You got all the doodads on it. We'll go to the last 3 when we come back. Also, we're taking your calls, your comments, your questions. Do you have an AR-15, and why? What are the uses of the AR-15? Why did you choose that platform? And if you're not a gun person, if you're listening to this, you're thinking, well, there's only one reason for an AR-15. It's to kill the most people possible. Well, except that 99.9% of them are never used for that. So there have to be some other uses. There have to be some other things that people are doing with them. What are you doing with your AR-15? Why do you own one? What is it that you like so much? 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.
I heard the click, click, click of her stiletto heels coming down the hall. And I caught her perfume before she opened the door to my office. And she stood there looking like $1,000,000 tax-free. I want to talk to you, she said. Come back later, I said. I'm listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk right now.
Hey, when do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's already inside your home? Well, ask John. He's got one of those blink cameras that alerted him to burglars trying to break in while he and his wife or family were home. Or Shannon, her blink camera caught a thief stealing packages. And boy, we're seeing a lot of videos of that happening these days, right? Well, both times the blink video clips were sent to the police and they helped convict the crooks. Blink motion-activated indoor and outdoor cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. If you're traveling, you get to check on everything back home, use the live feed option on your app, just on your smartphone app. No contracts, no subscription, totally affordable. It works with Alexa. Let's see, the systems obviously make a great holiday gift. Here's the deal. You can save up to 40% off on all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/holiday, blinkprotect.com/holiday. By the way, I use these things. I was showing somebody the other day. It's amazing. If you're getting too many alerts, then you're thinking, that was something else. You can actually turn the sensitivity down on those cameras on your app. Just turn it down, slider, left and right, more sensitive, less sensitive. If you're getting birds flying by that are causing it, just slide it back, dial down the sensitivity so only a person will set it off. It's really cool technology. I'm a fan. blinkprotect.com/holidays. 866-TALK-GUN. By the way, we're talking about the 10 reasons why you should own an AR-15 rifle. Let's see, number 8. The AR-15 rifle is the most commonly used for marksmanship competition. Now, a lot of folks think they're never used for competition or recreation because they don't know. The media tells them they're these evil black guns. Yeah, no. When you go to rifle competitions, that's what you're going to be seeing people use. An awful lot depending on the competition, but in most of them, that's what you're going to see. Number 9, if you are skilled with your AR-15, you can help prepare young Americans for military service. You say you want to support the troops? Get trained and share your knowledge with today's uniformed warriors before they sign up for duty. That's pretty cool. Tomorrow's uniform. This is from an article in the Federalist. I love number 10. This really brings it home. Number 10 on the list of 10 reasons why you should own an AR-15. The more Americans who own AR-15s, the more likely the Supreme Court will consider them in common use. The Heller decision says they cannot ban guns which are in common use. That's why it's very possibly this New Jersey decision to ban all magazines that have 11 or more rounds. I don't care if you bought a Glock 17 30 years ago, the magazines for that gun are now banned and you become a felon. It's a felony grade offense in New Jersey to even have one now, just to own one. The more people use these, the more likely it is the Supreme Court will rule it's in common use. And I'm hoping that when this gets appealed to the Supreme Court will look at that and say, no, magazines are in common use. Full capacity, standard capacity magazines are in common use. You cannot ban them. Just knock this stuff off. One could certainly hope. Line 1, Jerry is with us in Camden, Arkansas. Jerry, looks like you got some interesting pistols. What do you have?
I've got 3 high-standard target pistols. I've got a Supermatic Citation, a Supermatic Trophy, and I've got an Olympic Commemorative.
How old are those?
I've got some other 22s. I enjoy shooting 22 pistols. I've got a Browning Buckmark rifle and a Buckmark pistol. Mm-hmm. And the high standards, I believe, are superior to the newer guns. What's your opinion?
How old are your high standards? Those got to be 40 years old or more.
They are, but I've had them for quite a while. The Olympic Commemorative, I haven't shot very much, but the others, I actually squirrel hunt with one of the others. Nice.
Well, for those who don't know, the old high standards were one of the staples of competitive shooting. They're almost space-age looking. They're got cool lines. They're pretty neat. They came in a lot of different configurations with weights and everything else under the barrel. They were essentially almost handmade, and they were really, really well done. Now, if you were to buy, if they were making those now the same way, those would probably be $1,500 to $2,000, I would guess. Don't you think?
I certainly do. I think they have really, really good triggers in them.
Yes. So it's really not fair to compare a gun that would be selling for $2,000 now to a gun that sells for $400 now.
True. That's true.
But if you could but let's throw this out. Since you're a competitive shooter, you understand. How about the Smith & Wesson Model 41?
I have shot one, and it's a great gun. You're right. I don't have one. I've got the Browning Buckmarks, but I don't. I've shot a Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, the Model 41 is up in that price range, and they are spectacular guns. They shoot really well. I think, to your point, yes, if you hand make a gun like the old high standards, it's probably going to be a little bit better than what we have today. Although, with the CNC machinery today, it's pretty crazy. You can take one of these Ruger heavy barrel guns, and with a little bit of trigger work, it's spectacular how accurate they are, what they can do.
I also have an AR-15. I heard you talking about that.
Right.
I'm in South Arkansas, and we have a lot of hogs here, a lot of feral hogs.
Right.
So they have become the rifle of choice for hog hunters.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, and you can back me up on this, Jerry, is that the thing is, you don't go out and shoot one hog. When you're out there, you're actually out there to try to eradicate as many hogs as you can, and you literally could be faced with 15 or 20, depending on where you are and what's going on, right?
That's absolutely correct. They run in packs that large. You'll usually find several mature hogs and a lot of small ones. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you seldom see less than 10 or 15 together.
And it is not unusual to go basically do a whack 'em and stack 'em. You're trying to, And the landowner generally wants you to kill everything that's out there. And it doesn't matter how young they are, how big they are, how little they are, anything. Kill them all because they're repopulating so fast. It is an ecological disaster. And it's up to us to do all we can, which means send a lot more bullets down range and try to kill as many of them as possible.
A litter of pigs born in the first part of the year, the females can actually bear. Can be pregnant and have their own by the end of the year.
Right, and you start doing the geometric progression on that, and it's just crazy. So there aren't a lot of places that don't have hogs right now, but if you don't wait long, you're going to have them. Jerry, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's fun to think about that old high standard. I've had a couple of those in the past. Very nice handguns. Oh, shoot, I'm over time. John, don't go anywhere. I got to get to you, but I have to get in a break here. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. GalleryofGuns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
It's America's favorite .22 rifle. No matter how, where, or what you like to shoot, there's a Ruger 1022 for you. From the carbine to the incredible takedown models, the tactical and target versions, all Ruger 1022 models have the legendary action and detachable 10-round rotary magazine. Whether you're hunting squirrels or tin cans, there's a lifetime of fun in every Ruger 1022 rifle. See them all at Ruger.com. That's Ruger.com.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Laser sights offer an immediate advantage when visibility is poor and seconds count. Laser sights can de-escalate a deadly encounter by engaging the target with a laser, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
In Florida, a commission looking into the Parkland, Florida school shooting is recommending arming teachers and bolstering school security. The Associated Press is reporting that the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Commission voted 13-1 to recommend that the legislature allow the arming of teachers. Here is your quote of the week. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, a member of the commission, said Saturday on Fox and Friends, if teachers volunteer to be armed, pass the appropriate test, and complete training, they should be allowed to carry a firearm. Quote, when seconds count, minutes don't matter. We need somebody there in the building that second that can protect the students. You know, you've heard the deal, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away. I like this from the police officer, the chief, he says, sheriff. He says, when seconds count, minutes don't matter. There's nothing else. You got to take care of the problem right now. And the only way you do that is that somebody there can do that. You don't call somebody on a phone and say, would you please bring a gun over here and take care of this problem? Because in the 3 minutes it takes them to get there, people are dying and dying and dying and dying and dying and dying. How do you stop him? You throw bullets at him. Does that make you uncomfortable? I don't care. Pull up your big boy pants. This is real world. People say, well, we should be doing a lot of other things. Yes, we should. We should be doing a lot of other things. We should be hardening classrooms and schools. We should have better mental health screening and help. We should. And what do we do when everything else fails? What is your last line of defense? Why would you remove the last line of defense? Why would you say the people in the room who are smart, who can learn, who are willing, who want to and volunteer on their own time to get the training, why should they not be able to protect the children? What bizarre, maniacal line of thinking says you should just go ahead and die? If everything else fails, I'm sorry, you don't get a last chance. Here's some hockey pucks to throw at the guy with the gun. Really? John's on line 2 out of Pembroke, Virginia. John, thanks for your patience.
Yes, sir. I was calling about a range report.
Please.
I had been, yes, sir, watching these AR-15 pistols with the stabilizing brace for a while.
Right.
And when I decided the ATF had finally made their mind up, I was waiting to pull the trigger, and on Black Friday, I got me a PSA to build with the stabilizing brace for $330.
Palmetto State Army. Did you already have a lower to put it on?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And,
all right, so did you already put it together?
Well, yes, sir, I did, but I went ahead and dropped the BFS 3 binary trigger in it.
Okay.
And you talk about some fun at the range.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, I'm curious. Give me, how did the Palmetto State Armory kit, did that go together easily for you? Did it work okay?
Oh, yeah. I put together several, so, I mean, it was a piece of cake.
Okay.
I had a little issue with Franklin, but they were very helpful and got it taken care of immediately for me. And
the reason I'm asking is I have a box sitting at the office that just arrived 2 days ago from Palmetto State Armory. They had that $299 kit. This is for the rifle. And I had all these lowers sitting here, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I have the box sitting there waiting for me to pick it up. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. So I'll be giving you a range report when I do that. Okay?
Well, you drop that binary in there, and you'll have a lot more fun.
Man, that sounds like fun. I appreciate that. That's a great range report, sir. Thank you. This is a little-known story. People didn't pay much attention to it, but it could be huge, huge, huge. The Supreme Court has granted certiorari in a case that could end deference to regulatory agencies and challenge ATF regulatory power. It's a small thing, and basically law geeks are paying attention to this, but nobody else seems to be. What it would do, this case would challenge the ability of agencies to make law. Imagine that, because, most regulations have the power of law. They could put you in prison forever, and nobody ever voted on them. It's just agencies that promulgate regulations. The ATF puts out regulations, but nobody ever voted on it. Congress didn't vote on it. It's not a law anywhere. And what this lawsuit challenges, and the Supreme Court has accepted it, is to say, no. Agencies can't just make up laws. They can't have regulations that put you in jail. Nobody voted on that. This could upset the apple cart. Now, I don't expect them to go all the way and say, okay, you can't have any regulations, because that would not be workable. There are hundreds of thousands of regulations, and Congress can't vote on all of those. But this case bears watching, and we will be keeping an eye on it and keeping informed on it. But it's fascinating. I actually never thought the Supreme Court would accept a case like that. Maybe this is our new Supreme Court. One could hope. 866-TALK-GUN. And in an interesting headline, Venezuelans regret gun ban, a declaration of war against an unarmed population. The story starts off, as Venezuela continues to crumble under the socialist dictatorship of President Nicolas Maduro, some are expressing words of warning and resentment against a 6-year-old gun control bill that stripped citizens of their weapons. Guns would have served as a vital pillar to remaining a free people, or at least able to put up a fight, said a Venezuelan teacher. It is not hyperbole. It is not a conspiracy. It is not paranoia when we say, when we repeat the historical fact that the Second Amendment is primarily about protecting the people from the government. It makes people nervous when you say that. It makes people in the government nervous, and that's a good thing. But it makes people on the gun rights side nervous because they somehow don't want to get tarred with the whole militia thing. Let's get that out of the way. The number one reason we have the Second Amendment is so that we can fight and take back our government if necessary. If you think that is crazy talk, ask the people of Venezuela. 6 years ago, they had a gun ban. Cool. We'll have a national gun ban. Be safe. It's common sense. A common sense gun law. It's only common sense. Who could be against this? 6 years later, people are being murdered by the government. And they have nothing to do about it. I saw a meme the other day. It says, one thing about it, armed people do not get into boxcars willingly. Yeah, I know. Harsh. Over the line. Shouldn't talk like that, Tom. Well, maybe somebody should. Line 1, Dennis is in Oakdale, California. Dennis, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes, Tom. Pleased to talk to you. I listen to you every week. My question for you is about this thing called guns and gadgets and the red flag bill that's supposedly in Congress. What is your take on that, if I might ask?
Sure. The red flag concept is, and several states have passed this, what it does is it lets a friend or a neighbor or an educator or a police officer or damn near anybody to call the police and turn you in, and they come and take your guns away. That's what that is. It's been done in several states, particularly where Bloomberg has poured millions of dollars into it to lobby. And they're wanting to get it done on a national level. And, of course, what they're going to say is, well, why would you want anybody who is possibly a danger to himself or others to have guns? Wouldn't you want somebody? What it is, it's a no due process law. We will come take your guns away without going to court. We will come take your guns away without you being judged, mentally incompetent. It'll be your job to try to get them back. Good luck. We will come with a SWAT team if we need to. And if necessary, as they recently did, I believe it was in Maryland, we will kill you when we come there. They came to the guy's door at 5 o'clock in the morning, banged on the door to come take his guns away on one of these red flag deals. Logically, reasonably, he comes to his door at 5 o'clock in the morning. Who's banging on my door? He's got a gun in his hand. The police kill him. That's how red flag laws work. When will we resist? How will we resist? Let's talk about that and some other things during the after show. It's coming right up. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you in there. The after show is hot. And tell you what, we're going to be talking about some things here. We got a surprise to spring in the middle of the after show. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in, or just call me at Tom Talk Gun. It is Christmas season. We'll be talking about that. And also still asking the question, are you buying guns? Are you thinking about guns? Here's a thought for you. Go to brownells.com right now. Buy yourself magazines. We all need them. Hey, be safe out there. Watch out for those packages on the front.